everybody! Would you like to know what I did today all day in my house? I cleaned all day today. All day. That's all I did. I have not been on this computer since like noon. And it is now 12:41 a.m. Would you guys like to see what happens when I clean the house? Because I'd like to show you. Okay, you ready? You ready for this? Bam! Right there. That that is a fan blade. Let me show you my ghetto fan. Can you see it? Look at that. Look at it. Yeah, that'll be a good one when Rob walks in the door. I'm seriously almost crying. It was so funny to me. Yeah, he might not notice it at first until I tell him, but I was innocently standing up on a chair with a rag, just trying to dust off the fan blade because they were looking pretty black. And yeah, it just pretty much popped right off into my hands, and I was like, "What the? Alrighty then. I guess I have a new paddle." Ugh. So if Rob ever makes me mad, I'll be like, "Bend over, whack, whack." Okay, okay, okay. Enough of the funny stuff. I just thought that was pretty hilarious. Apparently, apparently I'm stronger than I thought. Check out my guns. Yeah. They're not really. They're fat. It's okay. I'm cool with it. Anyways, so today, basically all damn day long, I have done nothing but clean and dust. I moved furniture around. I kind of rearranged things, which I'm sure Rob's gonna walk in and be like, "Bleh, I hate change. I don't want it to look like this." And I'm gonna be like, "Yeah, well, deal with it." But that's what I did all day today. All day today. And I'm still not even done because I still have to get my bedroom kind of organized and cleaned and vacuumed and clean those carpets. I've cleaned all the carpets in the house except for my bedroom. I had a normal breakfast, yogurt and the Cliff Bar. I had fruit as a snack for lunch. I think I had grapes about I had like cantaloupe and honeydew for lunch, I think. And like an hour after I had like a cup and a half of grapes. And then I've been drinking water all day long. For dinner I had leftover stir fry and I think that's it. That's it, yeah, because then later on I had some of my naked juice, the mango one that I got, and then I had an apple as well because I was wanting something sweet. So, yeah, that's pretty much all I've had today, but it's pretty much because I've just been working and I didn't want to cook, and so that's all I've had. Rob had to work all day today, so that took away my ability to be able to do any real exercise outside, so that kind of stinks. But oh well, I mean, I still did housework, and I'm sure you could. And I did not wear my heart rate monitor. I'm an idiot. I should have, because it would have been interesting to see how much I burned doing all. I was scrubbing walls. I was scrubbing baseboards. I was dusting like a mofo, moving all that furniture and stuff. That's kind of like strength training, in my opinion. But anyways, so I kind of wanted to talk today about this question that I got on my last, was it yesterday's vlog? I think it was yesterday's vlog. I can't remember. But cute peaches, cute bunny peaches. Dang it, I can't remember what your username is. But I got a question from them, and they asked, was it difficult in the beginning for me to make the changes? I believe that's what they were asking. Like was it difficult for me to make the changes necessary to lose the weight? I guess they mean like by changing the way that I ate, changing my mentality of exercising, all that. Was it difficult? Yeah. Yeah, it was difficult. I cannot sit here and paint a damn picture like it was the easiest thing I've ever done, because that is simply not the case. I mean, I was coming out of a pregnancy, and during that entire pregnancy, I can't even tell you how much I was not active. I let it kick my butt. I was tired all the time. I was nauseous a lot of the time. I ate whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted, and as much of that item as I wanted. And I didn't even think twice about it. I was at risk for gestational diabetes, and I was at risk for preeclampsia and all that. I mean, I couldn't even get up 3 flights of stairs without being able to without feeling like I was going to pass out. That's how it was. So going from that to, okay, I have to lose weight now. I mean, you want to talk about difficult. Oh yeah, it was difficult. And that's where I say that cheat days used to work for me in the beginning. And you know who I learned about cheat days from? Not even kidding you. I learned it from Jackie Warner on Bravo, because during that time she had her what was it called? Like that show where she has her own gym, and it's called like Workout or something. I can't remember, but I used to watch it. I really liked it, you know. And she would tell her clients to go ahead and stick with your diet. You know, I better take these off. I can see glare. But she would say, stick with your diet, hardcore, you know, eat the right things, work out all week long, and then on Sunday, have whatever you want. Go nuts. Have whatever you want. One day a week. Have that day. And she recommended that. So I just thought, well, this is a woman that does this for a living. I'll do that too. So it wasn't always Sundays, but every week there was always one day that I would allow myself, not the entire day to go crazy, but like for a meal. I'd kind of reward myself in that way. And I'd say this entire week, I did everything I needed to do, and I was almost damn near perfect. Um, so I'm allowed to have Chinese takeout today. I'm allowed to have pizza today. I'm allowed to have a burger today or something. And you know what? It really worked. It really, really, really worked. And it was like the hot dog, you know, that you dangle in front of a dog and they just keep running and running and running. It was kind of like that for me. But then the further and further that I've gotten, the more and more that type of a reward no longer appeals to me. And so in the beginning, it was very difficult to change this entire way of thinking and regarding food. And it's really funny that this should come up in a comment question, because I was talking about this with my best friend the other night when we were on Skype until 3 in the morning. And it's not, I cannot say that for the rest of my life I will not always have some type of an issue with food. I feel as though I am a person who will always be on the brink of being able to lose control when it comes to food. You know, I kind of regard it like a drug addict or an alcoholic. You know, just because they beat the addiction, let's say, they get clean, they get sober, they don't do it anymore, doesn't mean that the thought patterns that got them to the point of doing that aren't still there. And that's the same thing with myself. And I kind of say blanketly in a statement like this, but that's the way that it is for us. People that have gotten so overweight, people that obviously have a problem with food. You know, just because I can sit here and say I've lost like 90 pounds doesn't mean that if you place a chocolate bar in front of me, my mind doesn't start going like, oh, I want that. Oh, I need that. Oh, oh, no, I shouldn't. Yes, I should. No, I shouldn't. No, you know, it doesn't mean that I don't have that reaction. I will always be somebody who has to kind of mentally battle with myself in my head. The only difference of me now from me when I started is that I've taken a lot of the power away from that food simply by educating myself about that food. And I like the way that my friend was saying it. She was talking about how she can go and see like a big, fat, juicy burger, like the most beautiful burger you've ever seen, and not even want to have it. Trust me, I am not at that point yet. But she was saying it wouldn't even appeal to her. And the reason why is because she knows, anything that happened to the the cow that became that burger, if it was injected with hormones, if it was raised in a dirty farm, if the meat was bleached in processing, whatever, anything and everything that goes into making that burger is going to go into her body, which is going to affect her. So when you start to think about things in that way, and that's a little bit of a further way to think of it because she's more of kind of like a natural foodist type person, and I'm not even there yet. But if you start to think of things in that way, it starts to become like, well, why do I want to do that in the first place? So that's what it became for me. It was like the reward days and the cheat days, they were good. They were good for a certain amount of time, but then at some point it was like, well, if I go out and I eat that whole basically bucket of Chinese takeout, I know tomorrow I'm going to get on the scale and I'm just going to be like 2 pounds heavier and it's going to make me feel like crap about myself. So I might as well not do that because I know that. And I know furthermore that when I have that Chinese food, I always feel kind of bloated. I always feel uncomfortable and I feel kind of gross afterwards. So why am I going to allow myself to do that if I know that it'll be 2 seconds of enjoyment while I'm eating it and then resentment and guilt afterwards? Why? And that's part of the mental process that I will admit that I preach about. I do preach about this because if you are not addressing the way that you think about food, the way that you regard food, when someone puts a plate of your favorite food in front of you that you know is unhealthy for you, we'll just say that, if you are not addressing what's going on in your head mentally, the little ticks that are going like, oh, eat it, oh no, you shouldn't, oh, do it, if you're not addressing those and learning how to work with them, then what do you expect, to happen in this journey? You can take a diet pill, you can starve yourself, you can, follow some fad diet perfectly. But the point is that when you get to the weight that you want to be, what are you going to do? You can't you can't sustain a fad diet for the rest of your life because that would be unhealthy, you know? So if you didn't do the work mentally to get yourself to learn how to fix this way of thinking and this way of regarding food, then when you get to the point where you've lost what you want to lose, you're just going to think you can go out and eat a whole pizza again like you used to. You're just going to be like, yeah, I lost 50 pounds. Woo! I'm going to go out and have a big fat steak. I'm going to go have this. I'm going to go eat. I'm going to go party. I'm going to go do this. I'm going to go do that. I'm going to be unhealthy again. And 6 months later, you're going to say, wow, I gained 50 pounds in 6 months. How did this happen? So, did I go off on a tangent? Absolutely, because that's what I do at 1 in the morning. um, so I hope that kind of answers that person's question. I don't even know if I did answer it well enough or not. To tell you the truth, I'm looking at this time ticker here, and it says 13:43, 44, 45, 46. So that means that my time is almost up. So one take Sunday, and we are getting ready to go to sleep. Yep, I'm going to try to go to sleep. Hopefully I get some good sleep tonight. So I'll see you in the morning when I start the vlog. Hope you guys all had a wonderful weekend. I had a pretty good one. I will see you all in the morning. And we're going to end off with a high five.